We talk a lot about the importance of self-esteem, and now new research claims that children have a fully formed sense of self-esteem by, guess what age? 3 is interesting. 5, by 5 years old. I found it surprising and, in a way, to me, a little troubling, because if you have a child who's struggling with self-esteem and they're small, what does that mean? Yeah. You know, will they ever be able to develop that sense of self that's positive?
Well, we were talking about this, and I said, you know, kids, when they're really young, are fearless. They have a self-confidence that we wish we could replicate. And as we get older, the confidence goes down, 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 down. And I kind of agree with this day. I have a 4-year-old, and she is a confident little sucker. She walks in a room like she owns it. She can dominate. She performs. She sings. And I think they start strong, and I think it's when they get a little older.
Do, though.
But I think it starts to wither away because everyone chips away at it a little bit. It chips and chips and chips, and it's kind of sad.
They have the first of all, I thought I was a star when I was a kid. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Orphan Annie, dancing in musicals and doing all kinds of stuff. I was making it.
But you had people probably supporting that, too.
I did.
Yeah.
I had, you know, but it goes back to when I thought about this topic, I'm like, you know, they had the baby doll test where they were showing young black girls images of a white doll and a black doll, and for the most part, they would choose the white doll because their self-image had been so bogged down by just what they had seen and not thinking they were beautiful. So I think it's up to the person's parent to tell them. Like, my grandmother was always telling me, you're beautiful, you're a nice chocolate girl, get it. And my mother the same. So I didn't have no problem with saying, yeah, I'm chocolate, I'm beautiful.
Okay. There is a popular blogger, Jenny Lawson, a.k.a. the Bloggess, who's been retweeting her followers' most embarrassing, awkward moments, and the exchanges, they're pretty funny. One wrote, I texted my boss at the end of my first day in the new job with, heading out, love you, intended for my boyfriend, okay? Another, a friend placed her order at a drive-thru. She then heard, could you drive up to the speaker? You're talking to the trash can. And this one, these are really embarrassing. The director of my play asked the audience to turn off their phones and vibrators instead of setting phones to vibrate.
Correct there.
Cringe-worthy moment. Probably many of them. Lance, what's your worst?
Oh, my worst. I mean, how do I choose? From 16 to 21, I was just basically awkward. But one that sticks out, we lived in Germany for a while, and there was one award show that we were performing at, and we were side stage about to perform. We were last to perform. And they're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. And I run out on stage. Patent leather, by the way, white and black. So you definitely, yeah, it was bad. And so I'm sitting there trying to perform, and I realize I'm with the wrong act. There was not, NSYNC was not with me. And I look back at Justin, everyone's like, get back, like, okay, so I just kind of dance off. You do like the Ashley Simpson off.
The frog?
You kind of had to commit in that moment.
Well, I did.
My biggest cringeworthy moment was I was auditioning for the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts, Yay Loxa, and they had one slot, and it was 300 kids auditioning, and it was for the theater. And I remember they said before I went in, they were like, well, there's a teacher, he's kind of like cockeyed, he's not going to look at you, so don't say anything, don't draw attention to that. And I remember doing my monologues, and they were like, is there anything you want to say to us? And I was like, well, you know, I want to know, why didn't you look at me the whole time? And he was like, I am looking at you. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. But I got in, though.
All right.
Get in there, sister.
Yikes.
No, I was going to say, moms have awkward moments every day. I'm not on stage or whatever. I just remember when my first child was born, I was in the breastfeeding moment, and someone knocked on the door, and I had my bra on, and I just answered the door in my bra. And not thinking, it's kind of like silly and stupid, but it's, you know, I have mom brain every day. I'm awkward every day.
Yeah.
So mine just happened right here in the audience. My friend Eddie is here, and he's with his friend Kylie, and I went to hug him, and then I was like, well, now I have to hug her, because it's awkward not to hug her. And she went for a handshake. Doesn't that always happen when you're like, it's like the weird arm handshake hug?
It's you have to fully commit,
Get in there.
Yeah. Well, mine is more like the worst was when somebody knew I didn't remember what their name was, and went, hey, kiddo. And they said, you don't know who I am, do you? Which I don't think that's right to do.
I agree.
That's what every morning. Hey,
But that was really bad because I had no comeback. It was pretty awful. All right, before we go to break, do you guys love Broadway? We love Broadway. Think of these great, when you go to a Broadway play now, they give you a sippy cup with wine, and you just like you're a baby, and you put the ice in it, and you can suck away for like 2 hours. Yeah. I love my wine at a theater, but according to the New York Post, the audience members at the new play Misery, starring Bruce Willis, are being told by bartenders they can't have any ice in their drinks because it makes too much noise in the plastic cups. Killjoys.
Yeah.
Killjoys. But all kidding aside, I get it. There are things that happen in theaters and every movie house that drive people nuts.
Especially with ice, because ice, you got to rattle it around. People want to crunch on it and do all kinds of craziness.
What?
Yeah, you crunch on
I
ice.
love, that's my
No,
favorite.
I would say, like, in the movie theater, I have a rule. I'm like, please just open your candy bags before the movie starts. I hate when in the mid-thing you hear, I'm like, please, there's nothing worse.
I would take a candy wrapper over a full meal.
What's happened with that with meals now?
I went to a movie and this guy was literally eating an entire bucket of fried chicken, and I could smell it, and I was angry that he was eating it because he was like, you know, one of those loud eaters, and you
like
hear,
that.
Oh, but my misophenia, it's the
but then I was
worst.
mad because I wanted fried chicken and he wasn't going to share it with me, you know?
Do you think that's a difference between, like, a movie theater I can understand, but for me, like, I'm a thespian. I don't, in the theater, don't have anything to eat or drink.
I mean, I agree with that. Now, musicals is different because musicals are a little noisy, but when it's a play like Bruce Willis's play, you hear every
That's a
little
drama.
thing.
That's a
I
heavy
don't think there
play.
should be food or drink in the theater at all.
No, so I fortify myself with a bottle of wine before the show.